All right, Simon, thank you. So tell me a little bit about the villa. Tell me about how you and your family have acquired this or the history of it. How did it become a vacation rental in Jamaica?
Uh, so we are from Jamaica, my family on my dad's side. So he was born there. I was born there. One of my other brothers was born there. We grew up there, spent our childhood in Jamaica. And since we left to move to Canada, and then other people we started dispersing to various corners of the world, Jamaica was always a sort of home away from home for us. And we've had a couple of properties over the years, but Villa Paradiso is the most recent one, which we've had in the family now for almost 20 years. So it was really intended sort of to serve two purposes. One is to have a gathering point for the extended family, my parents, my brothers, our kids, our spouses. We gather there once or twice a year together, as a sort of family reunion spot. We are dispersed across North America, UK. So it's really an amazing place to get together as a family. And then the other purpose is to act as a rental vacation rental home. It's a wonderful spot for people to gather together, whether extended families, groups of friends, reunions, etc. Special birthdays, weddings. So over the years, we've rented it out quite extensively, and it's become as well as having being a great sort of family gathering spot, also a good little business for us. So yeah, it's terrific for both purposes,
Mm.
the family.
What, when you visit, do you have like a favorite spot that you like to go to in the property itself? Maybe they're like a favorite area or amenity that you personally enjoy the most?
I like being on the water. I love being on the ocean. I do a bit of kite surfing, so I'd love to just get out there and lose myself. So it's a beautiful part of the island. Um, but there's many places. It's got so many spots that you can just have a bit of quiet time, or there's great spots for getting together. There's a group to just interact, spend time together. Um, the pool area is terrific, and it's just a fantastic setting because you walk from the pool right onto the private beach. There's about 150 feet of sort of private, beautiful white sandy beach. And then you sort of enter into the ocean, and I can kite surf right off our beach, which is just incredible. So I don't know if that answers the question. Lots of
Yeah.
great places. Just being there is fantastic.
Yeah. No, that's
Yeah.
awesome to have like an activity you enjoy and the proximity right there when you're able to visit. And I'm sure maybe some guests do something similar or they have that proximity I'm sure is something awesome as well. So yeah. The villa is staffed, and you've talked at length on some of our calls previously about the relationship that the staff ends up having with the guests. Maybe just anything on that, maybe that I could learn more about. Like, what is the interaction kind of between the staff and the people that are there at the villa, taking care of it and taking care of the guest? How does that go?
The staff is a really they are a really integral part of you know the Villa Paradiso experience. And they've become over the years like part of our extended family. We have, including our the driver, when people rent Villa Paradiso, we include uh, the coach and driver as part of the package, so that they have transportation to and from the airport, and driving around the island, visiting attractions, etc. So we have Ronnie the driver plus five other staff. There is a chef, there's two housekeepers, there's a butler, and sort of the guy, Michael, who takes care of the grounds. And they are, as I said, they're part of the extended family. They become, that way for us. And for anyone who goes there, whenever we get reviews, the first thing they talk about is how amazing the staff is. And I would wholeheartedly agree with that, when we arrive, they welcome us, they look after us, cater to our every need, from, when you wake up at even from 6:30 in the morning, Jermaine will have coffee available on the veranda. Dania will arrive and start cooking breakfast. We'll all sit down to breakfast. Janice and Nicole will be there to start, cleaning the rooms and doing the laundry. And Michael, as I said, looks after the grounds and also does help, when we have bigger groups, he does help also, Jermaine, in sort of serving meals and cleaning up and stuff like that. So it is like having your own little private resort, with a really top team of very well trained, and very personable, staff who are, as I said, really a really integral part of the experience. And for us, they become part of our extended family.
Love that. Um, so I actually don't know the answer to this question, and I'd have to go back maybe in my archives and dig it up. How did we originally connect, or how did you find BuildUp Bookings originally? Was it you, or was it someone else on kind of in the family that found us originally? I guess I don't recall at this point, to be honest with you, Simon.
It was me, and it was doing a good old-fashioned Google search. We had a digital marketing agency actually in Jamaica that was helping us, but they weren't, they work across various sectors. And they were doing an okay job, but we felt we really needed to extend our reach and to find somebody, who really focuses in this area of vacation rental homes, understands that market, the needs of the owners, and what prospective customers or guests are looking for, and sort of connecting all those dots. So we set about just doing a little search, and that's how we came across you guys. I think there were maybe two or three that we evaluated, and after meeting you, Conrad, and your team, and talking a bit, I think it was about a year and a bit ago, maybe. Year and I don't know, maybe it's longer. I I cannot figure out the passage of time anymore.
Same.
But last year or 18 months or whatever it is, we felt it was the right kind of move to make for us. And we've been very pleased, very, very pleased, with how everything has gone over
Awesome.
that period. Yeah.
One thing that's important to me is obviously, I'm doing a lot of the strategy or some of the higher level discussions, but our client success team, and in your case, Jackie is the one that helps on your account. Anything that you found, that maybe is an enjoyable piece of having that client success team member, Jackie, kind of there to assist you, on that side of things as your relationship has grown with Build Up.
Think we've all developed a really great working relationship, and you and Jackie have been central to that. And Jackie is been fantastic, so responsive, and we obviously have our monthly catch up meetings, and there's always follow up from that. But there's stuff in between as well. It's normal during the course of a given week that we would have some interaction with Jackie, just to follow up on something that happened at our monthly meeting, because it sometimes takes a little while, needs a few iterations if we're back and forth on whatever it is, editing something or providing you guys with new photos or whatever it may be. So we have the pleasure of quite a bit of interaction on a regular basis, which we really enjoy. And this from our side, as there's three of us involved: Julie, my wife, Tony, my father, myself, and we all kind of look forward to it and enjoy it. It's apart from being a really positive experience, for us, both, commercially, it's also been fun. So that's always important, isn't it? And have a
Uh,
bit of fun. So yeah.
yeah. I think
Yeah,
so. It's like, we have to do business and the business has to make
yeah,
sense. I've always said, for the longest time, it's got to be a win-win. It has to make sense for you and your business. It's got to make sense for us in terms of the scope and the relationship, that sort of thing. But, one of my metrics for, working with a client, really enjoying working with them for a long time is, do I look forward to the call? When I see the call on my calendar that day and I go, oh, great, I get to talk to these guys. And that's definitely the case on my side too. So always good,
sure.
especially, talking with your dad and just kind of hearing his perspective on things. And, he does a great job too. He's obviously critical to the
He,
process and taking
he
care of the
is,
property.
and he is absolutely, and he's 86 years old now, and he loves, he still, loves dealing with all this stuff relating to the villa because he effectively, I've got two brothers. We get involved in different ways. Julia and I are working closely with you guys on the marketing side. And the other two get involved in other aspects of the villa. But, sitting on top of all of us, kind of running the whole show is my dad. And he loves it. He really enjoys it. And, he's spent his whole life in business. So he's got a lot to contribute. And for me, that's a very enjoyable part of the experience as well, because we're separated by an ocean. And we spend a lot of time obviously talking about whatever, but we always have this as well to, talk about and work on together to try and improve things at the villa, improve this whole sort of, the marketing side of things, and just make it a great experience both for the family and for others who come to the villa.
Yeah. I think 86 years young would be my perspective when I talk to him on the phone, at least, because he's always,
Yeah,
got a clear eye of what we're thinking about, new ideas or what's going on in the
yeah.
island and all those kind of things. So that's awesome. So just want to end here, honestly, Simon, on results. Any high level results that you've seen? How's the villa doing from a performance standpoint, from a marketing standpoint? How, as we record this, we're kind of in the middle of 2025, as you said, it's been a little over a year. How has kind of the last year or so been in terms of performance of the villa? Bookings that have come in? How's that process been so far?
It's been a really I wouldn't say a transformation, but it's something towards that, because when I think when we started working with you guys, we were struggling a bit on bookings, and last year was a tough year. We started working, I think, early part of last year, but these things always take a little while to get going. We knew that, we kind of anticipated that and figured, it's going to take 6-12 months to kind of, get firing on all cylinders. But I think that's exactly what's happened. We've just found there's so many facets, elements to, doing a good job on the marketing side of things for any business, including, the villa, which is a business. And it's a little bit hard to sort of pinpoint exactly uh, what it is that has made things better and increased bookings. But it's a combination of ingredients, and I think you guys have helped us find that. So there's obviously the content stuff you help us with on the newsletters and stuff. There's the paid, search and social stuff. Um, and there's email marketing. I guess you do the newsletter, but then maybe that's part of the blogging, the email, the whole sort of rounded package of and maintaining the website as well. It just feels like we've discovered some kind of niche areas that we can focus on together, which I think has helped. So we found the direct bookings has definitely increased, and that's clearly what we're you know most trying to achieve, the direct booking increase in direct bookings, because we don't pay commissions on that. But I think we know it has to be a balance, and so we've also, as we relaunched with you guys, we relaunched our Airbnb platform, and also we've had RBO for a long time. Those are doing well too, and we know it needs to be a good balance of all those things. And a lot of people, they'll only go Airbnb or they'll only go VRBO, and that's fine. But it is all got to work together as one sort of cohesive package. And the center of it is a successful digital marketing campaign, which you guys have helped to orchestrate for us. So, I think in summary, this year is looking to be a really good year. Compared to last year, I think we're in even where we stand now in May. We can see for this 2025 year, we will be at least 50% higher than 2024, which was a tough year, but it wasn't like disastrous, but it was not great. But this year will be really, really good. And we're looking forward to next year, hoping that it'll be even better. So does that mean this year will be an average year because it's a little bit better than last year, but not as good as next year? Something like that.
I like that. I like that's a good way to think about it. There's always room for growth until we're 100% occupied at the highest rate that we can possibly charge. There's always more room to improve. So I like that, progress has
Yeah,
been
yeah,
made, but there's a lot more to
yeah,
go. So
yeah.
I like that. Well, Simon, appreciate your time on this.